The present-day smartphones are a result of almost 30 years of innovation. In 1992, IBM announced a device called the Simon Personal Communicator. IBM Simon came with a monochrome LCD screen and touchscreen that required a stylus, and this was the first device to be called a smartphone. This device, when it finally came out in 1994, had the earliest smartphone apps like Notepad, Calendar, Calculator, Address Book, and email in it. Then in 1997, Nokia 6110 introduced the first ever mobile game, Snake. In 2000, the first camera phone, JSH04, was introduced by the Japanese company Sharp, though the camera had only a tenth of a megapixel quality. The latest iPhone has a 48 megapixel camera. The early adoptions of the internet in mobile phones came in 2001 and was widely adopted in 2003 with the spread of 3G connectivity. But the revolutionary device that changed the course of the evolution of smartphones came in 2007 when Apple introduced its first iPhone. The first iPhone was a sleek multi-touch screen device with camera, iPod, and full internet accessing capabilities at a price of $499. The software capabilities of the first iPhone were groundbreaking, as the users were able to download millions of third-party applications. After the first iPhone, innovations in smartphones hit the fast lane. In 2008, the first Android smartphone, HTC Dream, was introduced with the collaboration of Google. Since then, smartphones have been innovating rapidly. In terms of the processing power, camera and display quality, battery life and software capabilities, smartphones have achieved unimaginable progress. The latest A17 Pro chip from Apple, which is used in iPhone 15 Pro, carries 19 billion transistors on it. And the 48-pixel camera allows the users to even make cinemas. But in the last few years, have you seen a phone which breaks away from the past? Has any phone taken you by surprise? Now, when leading manufacturers like Apple and Samsung introduce updates to their existing iPhone and Galaxy, there is hardly any difference on the face of it. Foldable and wireless charging smartphones have been the recent major innovations, but the penetration level of these phones have been very low. So has smartphone innovation reached the end of the line?
I would not say it is the end of the line, but yeah, it has certainly slowed down in the past 2-3 years, except a few exceptions like fold and flip, when we are really bringing more real estate called screen to the more pocketable device. But it has certainly slowed down, yes.
So a lot of things were happening a decade back, but then the entire form factor kind of stabilized on the hardware side of things. But although on the surface, it appears it has peaked, but then there are plenty of innovations happening within.
Now there are over 6.5 billion smartphone devices in the world. The drought in innovations is reflected in the changes in customer behavior when it comes to buying a new smartphone. Experts point out that the smartphone is becoming a distressed purchase. And as a result of the less evident innovations and rising cost of living, people are using their smartphones for a longer period of time, and they prefer to exchange their old devices to get a new one.
Earlier, people were buying phone, let's say, after 2 years, 2.5 years. Maybe in future, people will buy a phone after 4 years, right? Which means doubling your replacement rate. That will obviously have an impact on the overall industry that was at its peak selling around 2 billion phones. Maybe in future, we'll settle at around only 1 billion phones per year.
According to the International Data Corporation report, smartphone shipment across the world shrunk by 11.3% in 2022. Also, the same report suggests that the shipment of used smartphones worldwide has increased in 2022 by 11.5%. Though the visible innovations in smartphones have been less, more innovations are happening in the smart devices like watches and virtual and augmented reality space.
For example, I'm very excited about one The AR VR headsets going into the real life scenarios, like it puts the whole entire world and the experience of the smartphone in front of our eyes. Obviously, it has to be non-intrusive. You can't, it should not come in the way of our normal life. Secondly, I think one of the most important one and less talked about thing is the wearable space. And when I say wearable, this is about watches.
Experts believe that though the smartphone innovations appeared to have slowed down, some tech disruptions are in the pipeline, and they may surprise us, like the upcoming mixed reality headset developed by Apple called Apple Vision Pro.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
He's about to land his dream job. Business Standard.